Alrighty. It looks like we're good to go. Hello Alessio, hello Floyd. I've been doing pretty well. Again, just getting my other things in life getting ready. So, been kind of busy for me, but I've been okay. Hope you've been doing well, man. Hello, Leo. Hope you've been doing well, as always. Alright, I think we're good. Bro, hello. Good to have you with us here. How have you been? I hope you've been doing well today. Alright, but I have the poll up as well. The prediction, I guess. So if you guys want to vote and get a chance to get some points coming your way, feel free to do that. All right. Alright, let me go ahead and turn down the music here. Alright, let's just go ahead and get started. Yeah, I've been good. I couldn't catch the stream right after practice. That's okay, man. That's okay. I hope practice went well for you. The music sounds broken to me. Did it sound like choppy? Can you elaborate more on that? Yeah, hopefully that wasn't the case for everybody else. But yeah, today we are turning the page. Whoops. We're turning the page, going right into the second half of the season. The first half is past us now. Really interested to see how the rest of the season gets on. Leyenda are currently in 6th place with 8 points. Ezhdehan right above them with 10 points. So, really big points to go for here. Music wasn't choppy, more like distorted. Interesting. Is my voice distorted now? Is like the mic sounding weird as well? Hold your horses. We're off. First half is past us now, as I said before. The second half is upon us. Second half of the season. This is the first round from the first half. This is basically the switch between home and away. I will remind you that in the first encounter, in the very first round, Ezhdehan and Leyenda both tied. It was a 0-0 draw. No, your voice is fine, just the music was distorted. Interesting. Huh. Good interception. I just realized today that Chad left the server, Chad champion. Yeah, he left I think a couple days ago. Hope he's doing well wherever he is. It's a good pass to Markilic. He could not score last match, I'm afraid, but he's still got a very astounding goal-scoring record. He might be able to notch another one today. That would be really good. Here's Virginia Emmett. Virginia Emmett has some help behind him. Oh, he should have laid it off there. Oh, good dribbling from Ayadeli. This is a golden one. Oh, saved by Martic. Ayadeli does have golden boots. They seem to have been working. Leyenda recovers the ball. Good defensive work. Good defensive work from Kai Rodri. Let's take a look at the bets here. It's pretty split between everyone. Oh, it's a strike. Oh, brilliant save from Isaac Ghabr. That was a supersonic strike from Fernandez, but Ghabr put his body in front of the shot, and that was really well saved. Stolen away. Oh, bit of a nervy moment there. Ezhdehan just seemed to be clear of it. Cantalupi's tripped there. Ref's going to have a word with Ayadeli. Tells him to calm down a bit. Oh, good pass to Fernandez once again. Oh, the defense is very rocky at the moment. Luckily, it hasn't landed too many mishaps. Hey, Mateo. Not much, we just got underway. We're just about 20 minutes in. That was knotted on by Chess in the safe hands of Isaac Ghabr. Oh, it's a good ball. Martic elects to punch it away. If our defense receives too much pressure, we're done. Yeah, that's definitely an important factor today, especially when you have Fernandez, Chess, and Sam Dimitra up top. That's a very threatening front three. Virginia Emmett, he's bursting through! Slotted into the bottom left corner. Can't believe I can't tell the difference between my left and rights. Virginia Emmett opens the scoring. It's 1-0 for Ezhdehan. Cleanly struck by Virginia Emmett. Beautiful strike. It looked like Harry Chedda might have done a tackle to it, but Virginia Emmett opened up the space, made Martic run out of his line to try and meet Virginia Emmett, and just slots it in the bottom left. At the moment, this would mean that Ezhdehan would go up front with 13 points, depending on the rest of the results. As they get on today, we'll see in what position they land in. Ezhdehan have been in a brilliant run of form recently, having won the last 3 of the 4 matches. Last losing the one last week on Friday. Leyenda have, in the same fashion, won 2, but they've lost the other 2. Although it is in a much better stride that they find themselves now than at the beginning of the season, when they only picked up 2 points in 4 games, compared to 6 points in 4 games. Found Dwayne. Cantalupi. Oh, it's sent in. Powell wins it back. He's shoved there by Harry Chedda. Andrew Dong is tripped. It'll be a free kick. That's interesting. He's on the ground even though he was up on his feet and he was alright. Lots of injuries lately. Well, at least a lot of moments where the players haven't been able to get back on their feet. Oh, he's good to go back in. He'll probably go in, yep, at the conclusion of that play. Really solid work from Ezhdehan today. They've really sort of closed down Leyenda. You can see that sort of the passing channels have just been closed off by Ezhdehan the minute that they see Leyenda getting a chance. Here's Virginia Emmett again. Oh, that's a good pass. Pasalic. Ooh, good save. That was a brilliant work from Virginia Emmett. I think he's been having such a good game today. Stolen away by Margilic. Virginia Emmett. That was interesting. Nobody seemed to get to that one. I think Virginia Emmett could have done a bit better by taking a touch. Oh, that's a brilliant cross. I have no idea how he sent that ball in. That was a header by Harry Chedda, but I think that was Harry Chedda at least. Well, we're going into the second half now. Ezhdehan leading 1-0 after a really inspired work from Virginia Emmett. We can take a look at some of the chances here. Not much action by Leyenda. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think Ezhdehan had pretty much closed them off. Except maybe 1 or 2 chances where it looked like Leyenda looked threatening. Here it is. Yeah, good stuff from Virginia Emmett. Found a pocket of space and he struck it very nicely. To the bottom left. Left Hayasaka a bit wrong-footed there. That one was a really good chance as well. I wonder what would have happened if Pasalic had left it to Mateo, who was on the right-hand side there. That could have been very good. Again, Virginia Emmett would have been at the center piece of that. But yeah, there we go. Those were the highlights for the first half. Ezhdehan, I think, having the better first half, but we have seen that Ezhdehan sort of lose the pace up in the second half, so we'll see what this second half has to tell us. Oh, that's really good from Chester Chess. Chester Chess is going to put that one away, surely, and he does. Chester Chess now has 5 goals this season. He's equalized the record from Ayodele last season. If Chess gets another goal this season, he will be the all-time goal scorer, which is crazy to think about. Beautiful pass right to the feet of Chess, and he held his ground very nicely. Thatch Best was not going to win in on that one. He didn't even have to put much power behind it. He just had to slot it behind Ghabr. It's all square now. Leyenda pulled one back in typical Leyenda fashion, I think, who I think find themselves behind sometimes and then they find a way back in. Yeah, does anyone know who made that pass? Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see. It was just kind of out of the blue. Tyler Adams. Oh, yeah, he's going to have a strike. That was really good. I think that came off a deflection. Or maybe not. No, it's not. I was mistaken. But yeah, that was a gem of a pass. We've already seen 2 now. Some subs here. Virginia Emmett's off for McCarthy and Frank goes off for Lenny Lyons. At this point, So at this point, I think we'll start employing plumbers and pizza delivery men to play defense for us. Like San Marino style. You know, that's not a half bad idea, actually. I had that feeling that for some reason those that don't play football that often are the scariest players to face because they themselves don't know what they're going to do. They're super unpredictable. Tyler Adams, this could be good. Wow, really good defensive work there. You need the pipes after the food. That's funny. You're a very funny man, Floyd. Sam Dimitra. Oh, good pass. Chess, maybe. Checo Torres is pressured. Ooh, Harry Cheda. Sam. Oh, scuffed a bit, but the defense was having a hard time dealing with it. Luckily, it didn't amount to much. Here's Mateo. Can open a restaurant next to the stadium for extra money. That's a really good idea. Yeah. Yeah, all the people, you could probably have some competition with the in-stadium restaurants. Yeah, imagine having like an ice cream place or something on a hot summer day. Everybody's going to be lining up to go to that. Nunez is off. Sky McCory takes his place. This is a good change, I think. McCory being a really good integration into the team's movement, I think, as he moved in extra time. Evidently scoring the first goal. Yeah, the plumbers could be guards. You know, you could probably have them holding L pipes or something, like really strong metal pipes. I don't think anybody's gonna want to miss a crazy burly guy with pipes. I wouldn't. Wow, the defense has been all over the place right now. Oh my goodness. Both teams have had really shocking displays when under pressure like that today. We just need defenders. Pashalic, Donger off. Chess is off for Levesque. Let me think. Ezhdehan has Andrew Dong, Jacob McCarthy. Oh, this is good. Surely this is a goal. Oh my goodness. Chris Powell, how did he miss that? How did he miss that one? It's not over yet. Pur. Oliveira, he's got some room here. He's challenged by Mateo. Sam wins it back. Oh, this is good. Almost. Yeah, I don't know. Chris Powell kind of jumped like 2 millimeters or something. That was very strange. Oh, this is good. Great pass from McCory. Oh, Sam's got some room. Oh, Sam should have been a bit more greedy there, I think. He should have just had a strike. He had loads of time. Livesk. He should have taken the shot. Yeah, I agree. Here they come, Leyenda. Good 1-2 with Livesk. I thought I saw someone on the ground there that wouldn't move, but I think they just tripped or something. Alright, Delhi. Ezhdehan might be able to find a way back. Oh my goodness, I thought that went in. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going in. Adams with the really piercing strike. That almost went in. Martic, I think he might have got a hand to it if it was going in, but that looked very menacing. Good pass again, Livesk. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going in. Again. Unfortunately, it could not find its way into the net. Sam felt rushed there to take a shot. 80 minutes now. We've got 10 minutes left of this match. Matteo is challenged by Tom Dwayne. Oh my goodness, what is going on? I thought lots of weird plays have been going on. Not in a bad sense, but just like very unexpected things, which I like, honestly. I thought Martic was not going to be able to backtrack and it was going in or something. Delhi, Powell, this is a great chance. Blocked, and it comes off the thigh of Hayasaka. In the hands of Martic. Food was shoved down. Tyler Adams. Oh, he's bursting through. Ooh, that was poked away by Tom Dwayne. Oh my goodness, it almost went past everyone. Luckily, Hayasaka was there to deal with it. Oh my gosh, that almost went to Chris Powell. Sky McCory. He's a super sub, I feel. Kai Rodri. Pour's moving in. Oh, that was poor. I think this match will end in a 1-all draw. I think only one person voted for a draw. No, two. It's a good ball to Margilic. Oh, I guess he tripped over Oliveira or something, and that is a tackle. McCarthy says sorry, but he is going to be booked. Sorry, won't cut it. I think at least McCarthy knew that it was a brash decision on his part. It ends all square. 1 goal apiece. I think that's a fair result. All right. Poor performance from Poole. Yeah, that's sad to say, I'm afraid. He was such a good player last season. This season, he's just been non-existent, I'm afraid. 1-1 is the final score. Excuse me. Scored in the 26th minute. Ezhdehan's goal. Virginia Emmett from the U.S. was giving Ezhdehan the momentary victory. It was a pass from Sam. Wow. That was a precise pass from Samuel Dimitra. But yeah, Chester Chess has, with this, at the end of this match, has scored 5 goals now. It is equivalent to the total amount of goals that was scored by Ayodele, the top scorer from last season. This brings up also the tally of Samuel Dimitra's number of assists this season to 3, so he is the top assist maker. All right. Both captains scored. Yeah. Good observation. That is true. All right. Okie doke. But yeah, really good match. All around good stuff. Virginia Emmett, a 7.0. I think that's fair. Virginia Emmett was really clinical for Ezhdehan. Sam, Chess, those guys as well. Ghabr pulled out some good saves. 8 interceptions from Cantalupi. Confused the opposition defense with unpredictable passing. That is very true. Chess always super clinical up front. You never ever want to let Chester Chess get any opportunities because he's just so deadly. Ghabr made 3 saves. A long cry from Truzin from yesterday's League Cup semifinal, who made 15 saves. Really clean passing from Pasalic. Virginia Emmett, always so vital. The midfield, if you want a strong team, a strong midfield is in order. That's, I think, very, very true. Or at least the roots of a good team. We'll look at Mateo's stats here. Really good passing, one interception. Lots of ground covered on the right. He did not have a strike today, though, which is a bit disheartening. Ayodele, good passing, very serviceable on the left. And all around really good stats from Chris Powell. But yeah, I agree with Mateo. I think a good switch would be to have Ayodele and Powell switch, because I think Ayodele is a more clinical striker. But I am going to give the Man of the Match award to Virginia Emmett. Virginia Emmett from Ezhdehan. All right. Moving right along. Oh yeah, the bet. The tie. Congratulations, 2 people who voted for the tie. Enjoy the Konami music as always. Now we have a real important match. Golden Eagle against Oslo Royals. Oslo Royals are going to need a win now. This match will have to be a win if they want to be a presentable opponent for the rest of the teams. Eagles as well if they want to challenge Griffins for the title. All right. Eagles. I completely forgot the other team. Oh, the Royals. My memory is so bad. I don't know how I'm able to do this without my memory failing me. Okay. Royals are going to play in their away kit. I really like their away kit. The CPU keeps subbing off captains lately. Yeah. Again, I wish that I could change that, but unfortunately that's out of my reach. We need to turn this season around. I think so. More than that, I think the Royals just need a bit more luck on their hands. I think they've just been very unlucky. It couldn't be more present than yesterday's game. That was just unlucky on every end. Super lucky to bring it back, but then even more unlucky to then end up losing it in the end after the hard work that they put in. In case you guys missed it, well, actually, I don't want to spoil it because it's actually really intense. In case you haven't watched it yet, it will be up on YouTube later. It's also on the Twitch channel here, so I highly recommend checking that out. Even if it's just the second match, I highly recommend it because that was just an absolute crazy match. And anybody who witnessed it, I'm so glad you were able to witness it. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe my own eyes when I saw it. But yeah, I don't believe there have been any changes. Royals are sticking with the same tactics that they did yesterday. We'll see how it does for them today. And as a side note, Fred has let me know that this will be his last match as head coach for the Eagles. The replacement has been found, but that'll come with the announcement later, obviously. But yeah, as of the end of this match, Fred will no longer be the head coach of the Eagles. There's rumor has it that Fred is looking to switch clubs, but that's just pure speculation. We'll see what his future turns out. One of the best games, yeah. Undeniably, it was one of the best games, and if not the best game. The entire history. Easily. If somebody were to ask me my favorite game of the entire league history, that's the one I would point to. Without a doubt. That was just so exciting. It felt like I was genuinely watching a real match. It was so much fun. Here's Alessio. Alessio has a strike. Oh. Bradley somehow gets a hand to it. Ooh, Royals were so close there. Champion. Deflected out for a corner. Alessio nearly had a goal there. Supplies the corner. Fernando Rodriguez. Oh, that was a piercing pass along the ground. Brathwaite got in front of it though. That was a really good pass actually. Alessio wins it back. It looks like the Royals are fighting for it, which is always nice to see. Pressuring the Eagles to force them to move back. Or not get as quickly up front as they could. Tim Becker. He's fallen by the wayside as I've said before, but this is his second straight appearance in the first team. Hello, Fred. I hope you're well. Good to see you as always. Anthony Silva. Oh, good pass to Wonder. Good tackle from Jake Trotter. Party. Nice. What's the occasion, if you don't mind me asking? Do you know what Club Penguin armies are? I don't know what Club Penguin... I know what Club Penguin is. I used to play that all the time when I was in primary school. That was my life and blood. I spent so many hours just playing on the mini games, like the sledding one, the toboggan one, the dojo card one. That one was lots of fun. Do you ever see 20 people? I wouldn't know. I'm not on it. I don't think it's... Is this still alive? Club Penguin? So I remember I'd play that back in 2007. Like a long time ago now. Oh, it died in 2017. Oh man, that's sad. Yeah, but good times. I remember I used to come home from school and then I would just play Club Penguin. They shut down the servers. Oh, that's sad. No, my childhood. Jake Trotter's booked. What the heck? Levi just kind of popped out of existence, or popped into existence there. That was funny. Also, there was no ref to book, at least from what I saw, so I don't know what happened there. That was bizarre. I like bizarre moments like that. Anyways, people decided to act like each other and call it armies. I mean, when we won a war, we got fake land. Interesting. I've never heard of that before. That sounds like fun. Well, congrats to the army then. Enjoy the party. But yeah, what kind of games... Oh, this is good. Oh my goodness, it's gone in. A bit of a scramble from the Royals, I'm afraid, but Ryan Adam is right there to dink it in. Oh, heartbreaking for Licky Bellies. Yeah, again, I think, I don't know, if we take a look here, it was just a lot of, we'll take a look here. It looked like Fred was going to take the strike. It came off of Bilal, and then Levi looked like he was going to take it, but it kind of bumped off of him, and then it just sprung as a loose ball, and Ryan Adams slotted it home. If I was a Royals player, I would be disheartened. But there's still match to play. If yesterday showed us anything, it's that... I know I said that before, but especially considering yesterday. It's not over until it's over. Oh, good stuff from Mantal! Oof. That was picked away by Brathwaite. I believe that was Espolón who fed that to Antal. But yeah, as another topic, what kind of games did you guys play when you were younger, I guess? What games do you look back fondly? It can be a MMO RPG, like Club Penguin or like a game you had on a computer or a console or something. I'm interested to see. Because like, for example, me, it was like a lot of racing games. Like when I was a kid, I would play a lot of Club Penguin. I would play a lot of racing games. Also, that was the era when like Flash games were super like still popular and they weren't dead. So I played a lot of Flash games as well. I play Flash games all the time. Oh, they were so much fun. And interestingly enough, the Flash game creators actually were so kind enough to put their games up on different platforms like Steam, so you could play it on there. So it isn't lost to the ether when Flash gaming died. Oh my goodness, Brathwaite with a bit of a nightmare there. Fireboy and Watergirl played it with the boys. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I played that with my friends too. For me, it's Dragon Ball Budokai. I've never heard of that before. Let me look it up real quick on my other computer. Budokai 3. On the PlayStation 2. Popular for the anime series Dragon Ball Z. That sounds like fun. Let me look at some of the gameplay. Oh, I see. So it's like a... Well, how do you call those games? Like a... Well, fighting game sounds a bit like general, but... It looks kind of like Mortal Kombat a bit. Like with the same sort of mechanics at least. And and various PES games. Yeah, of course. I had PES 2009. That was my first PES game. That was so much fun. I played PES 6 on my laptop when I was a kid. Well, on the family computer. Stevie Wonder. Saved by Lucky Daddies. The Eagles are vying for a second goal here. For me, it was Dead Space. I'm not like a big gaming nerd, so like I'm not really that aware of like games myself, but like I've watched a lot of people play games, so that's kind of like where my knowledge comes from. But I've never heard of Dead Space before. Survival horror. Ooh. So what's Dragon Ball Budokai 3 about, and what's Dead Space about? Like, what's the plot? Child champion. It's still champion. He might have left, but he's still a good player. We'll see how that holds up, though, as the weeks go by. Oh my god, there's like something crawling up my leg, but I have no idea what it is. I'm terrified. Ryan Adam. Yeah, let's see. I had a PlayStation 2. I still have one, obviously. That's where I got the game from. But yeah, I played a lot of racing, played a lot of football games. Dead Space is like Resident Evil in space? Well, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah. Tim Becker. Good. Oh, great block. Formidable that was from, I think that was Oliver Levi, I think is his name. The story was the same as the anime, but then you can play 1v1 or 4v4. That's great. I remember my friends used to play a lot with like Nintendo DS as well, and like we'd play Mario Kart. So like on the ride from school back home, we would all pull out our DSs and we would just play Mario Kart together. Oh, that was so much fun. And then when we would be over at like our like hanging out like at a park or something for like a birthday party, they would just game like PictoChat, all of that stuff. I'm currently playing Inazuma 11 on DS. Nice. You know what? I was actually thinking about like making Inazuma 11, but in the league on the VPESA. Because I watched that when I was in middle school. It was so good. But yeah, I knew they had a game on the DS as well. Yeah, low-key I want to do that. Because I feel like that'd be kind of cool. It was so good. Yeah, I imagine. I remember Inazuma 11 was so good. God, I just like think about like watching it when I was in middle school. It's obviously a lot older than when I was in middle school. I think it was like 4 years old by then or something like that. And then they had like Inazuma 11 Go, which from what I saw was kind of crap. But that's from what I saw. I never saw it. End of the first half. Eagles are currently leading 1-0. Again, unlucky from the Royals in my opinion. And in my seriously objective opinion. I try to be as objective as possible. Obviously, I don't know how well that works because I'm a guy. But I don't know, because when you think about it, Royals do have the players. The tactics work. I mean, we've seen it work. Fernando Rodriguez, Patrick Rodriguez all supply very good stuff. There it is. Somehow Fred gets an assist. That's interesting. Huh. Interesting. Alright, game. Alright, my mouse just decided to die. But yeah, again, unlucky for the Royals. I don't know. I guess just bring in new recruits is my only idea. Just kind of like go through what the Dragoes are going through at the moment. Just like a rebuild. Just trying to find a sturdy team. But, yeah. Tommy, hello. My friend's gifted me a DS for my birthday to play the Pokemon games. I remember that. I never was big into Pokemon, but my friends were super fanatics of Pokemon as well. I remember. One of my old friends actually would bring his Pokemon cards when we would have like a free day. He would bring like his Pokemon deck, I guess. I don't know what to call it. And then he would just play games. Obviously I never knew how to play, but I watched them play. It looked fun. Also, Davitos, nice. I remember you were with us last season. It's good to see you, man. Fred's shoes look cursed. They're like bright highlighters. They're like LED phosphorescent shoes that light up in the dark. But yeah, also my friends in high school, I remember they tried to get me to play Pokemon, and they played like Pokemon on this like online website thing where it was like a Pokemon emulator in a way. But I forget what it was called now. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, really nice to hear what kind of games you guys played. But yeah, if you guys were on DS, I don't know if you guys remember like Flipnote Studios. I used to go on there all the time and like just watch the most popular flip notes. And then on the topic of that, DS, what was I gonna say? I completely forgot my mind. It completely flew out my ears. Alessio's trying to fight for it. It was cleared away. But yeah, Flipnote Studios. In case you don't know what Flipnote Studios was, it was basically like this. It was like when must have been a lifetime. I guess 2006 until I guess like early 2010s, maybe like 2011, something like that. But I remember like people would make really cool stuff. Like it was like it's like flip, like flip book animations, like you draw one picture on one like sheet of paper and then you flip it over to the next, and then you like make it seem that it's like animated when you flip through the book. It was basically like that, but like digitalized. It was so mind blowing, the things that people would make. At least in my eyes when I was like a kid. So have you played the Professor Layton games on DS? I have not. What's Professor Layton about? Oh my goodness. I was seeing things. I don't know. For some reason, I'm seeing things. I thought somebody was on the pitch and then they just vanished into thin air or something. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going crazy. Oh, bad tackle on Tim Becker. Pernovic is booked. Steven Wonder's coming off. He looks tired. And Chad Champions off for Pino. We'll see if Pino might have something to say here in this last few 30 minutes or so of this match. Ghosts. Oh man, I sure hope the league isn't haunted. That's the last thing that we should be worried about, I think. If the league's haunted, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. We're gonna have to call Ghostbusters or something. Pino. Espolon. Good tackle from Adam. Oh, Antal. Good stuff from El Wazani. Crunching tackle, Damian Winter. I don't know how that wasn't a foul. Alessio was very inspired today. Unfortunately, I've just not been able to find a goal yet. Cut out by Shevchenko and Pino. There's Fred, Wagner. Out for a throw. Lots of subs here. Antal and Rodriguez are off. Wynn and Carlson are on. I didn't get a chance to see the Eagles changes there. But yeah, I think both clubs have used up all their subs now. Fred. Fernando Rodriguez. What a... Alessio. I see you guys are talking about potential transfers. Obviously, it's good to discuss that beforehand, but just as a reminder that nothing concrete will be able to happen until the end of the season. I thought about like having transfers during the season, but I don't know like when to do that, and I also wouldn't want to like take time away from the season, so I'm not sure. It definitely is something that I'm considering, though, the current way that transfers are dealt with. I feel like it could be a lot better, just based on my current observations. So I'm currently brainstorming maybe potential new ways to deal with them. Tim Becker. It's still Tim Becker. Alexander Vega. It's still with the Eagles. Oh, that was a poor header, I'm afraid. Right into the hands of Luki Delis. Damian Winter. Winter's really clinical in the defensive midfield position. He hasn't shown much today, though, I'm afraid. Oh, good pass to Espolon. Alessio. Captain Steve says, just got in our Eagles flying tonight. By the looks of it, yes, they are. Good to see you, Stevie. Always happy to have you in chat. But yeah, Leyenda did tie in the previous match. What was that? What? 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 Did Win hit it with the back of his back or something? That would have been the greatest goal scored of all time. That was like a... I don't even know what that was. He hit it with his vertebrae or something. That was really weird. Tim Becker was trying to time waste there. The Royals were quick to retrieve the ball, but it looks like it won't be enough. It's just another loss for the Royals. I think Fernando Rodriguez's demeanor there really said it all. 1 win in 8 matches. I don't know, man. Although I will note that Dragoes last season did not win a single game until the 12th match of the season out of 14. And they won their last 2, and that enabled them to... Basically, they were rooted at the bottom of the table the entire season. So, the only reason I bring it up is because, you know, you might think that a club is going through a bad, like, it just stuck in a terrible rut, but, you know, a few changes here and there can really, you know, change the way we see things. Excuse me. Gonna write down the stats per usual. What minute was in the what minute was the goal in? I don't know. Also, I'll get to the chat in a bit. I want to make sure there we go. It's in the 22nd minute. I want to make sure I get the stats first. Brian Adam scored off of an assist from Fred. I know he's had some other assists this season, so I'll take a look to see how many he's got now. But yeah, and that was all that was needed to give Eagles the win. Let's see here. Man of the match, Ryan Adam. It's a good pick, I think. Here's Brathwaite's stats. Erwazani. Good passes from Erwazani. Damian Winter. Really great passing from Damian Winter. That's not a surprise at all. He's so good. Anthony Silva's stats there. Stevie Wonder, there's your stats. Adam did get involved a lot, if I'm honest. 20 to 26. Fred's stats. 4 strikes. Let's look at Kononovic. Good passing from Kononovic. He's really turning into a solid defender, I think. Definitely keep up the good work. Bilal, always instrumental on the right wing. Fernando Rodriguez. Again, so clinical. So I don't know what's wrong with the Royals. I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I think they just need more players, I guess, but I don't know. These are stats for Alessio. 2 shots, 8 interceptions. Natal. Chad champion. Okay. Let's see, man of the match. I think I'll give it to Adam. I think it's a fair pick. I mean, lots of passes. Alessio. Oh wait, who was it that had like really good passing? Who was it? It was. Oh my goodness, I completely don't know who gave a lot of passes. Anyways, I'll give it to Ryan Adam. Ryan Adam for Golden Eagle FC. Last match. Or not last match. Alright. Now we have the Griffins against Norfolk County. Griffins are definitely in a really good position. If they win this match, they'll just be far away from the rest of the teams. Okay. Alright. Let me set this up real quick. Yeah, I said I'll get to the chat. I just want to make sure I set everything up first, because I don't want to keep people waiting. Okay, then Norfolk. Ah, dang it, I skipped it. Oh, we gotta go all the way back. There we go. Are those kits too similar? I think they are. I think that's good. Also good to get some difference in kits. So it ended in a Golden Eagle victory. Well done. Alright. And now we have the Griffins playing against Norfolk County. Alright. Now with that all out of the way, I'll go ahead and catch up with chat here. Some crises have been brewing. Let's see. Let's see. Adam, of course. Okay, so glad people think that Adam was the man of the match. I think that's fair. He had a good game. Alright, so it looks like people are discussing Fred's potential future. Interesting. Oh, we don't... Oh, well. I forgot to switch the stadium. Ah, it's fine. They're just playing at this one for now. The Monaco Stadium was under renovation. They wanted to make some really cool LED lights that glow up in the dark or something. Anyways, I said that I'll get to it, please. Anyways, alright, now I can talk about the transfers. So, as I mentioned before, I do think that they definitely need a bit of work. Obviously, I don't think it works perfectly right now for a number of reasons. So I might have to revamp the system. But here's the verdict on how transfers will work. Basically, when a player wishes to leave a club, this should be in the rule book as well. But if a player wants to leave a club, he has to let the coach know that, hey, I'd like to leave the club. You know, how do we go from here? You know, that should be the first order of business. That if the player wants to leave, they have to let the coach know. They can't be like some under the table agreement, like, hey, I'll go to your club if you pay me this amount of money. There has to be discussion. The coach has to be made aware that the talks are happening. Now, if the team doesn't want to let go of the player, it's negotiable. You know, like, it doesn't mean that, oh no, you can't leave. Oh man, I can't leave then. Like, it doesn't. Just because the team doesn't want the player to leave doesn't mean that the player can't leave. Like, it's how do I say it? It's negotiable. Now, in terms of how the bets actually work, so this is what it is. The bets work as follows. When a team bets for a player, that bet has to go unanswered for 48 hours, which means that if the other club, oh my goodness, what a strike that was. Hold on now. So it looks like Santos had a strike and Tiger with a acrobatic save. Denied Santos with the goal there. Sorry I haven't been commentating. I want to address this because I think this is important to talk about. So for the money, when a club bets for a player, the bet has to go unanswered, which means that any other clubs who are also interested in buying either A, have to have a better offer, or they have to pull out. If they don't say anything, then that's just counted as how do you call it? Just like as an unanswered, like they just pulled out of talks. That doesn't mean that the player goes to that immediately, though. The new player also has to talk with the new coach and the old coach from his previous club, and they all have to agree that the transfer can go through. If not, the transfer will not go through. When I say that I want the transfers to be equitable, that's what I mean when I say equitable. It means I want every party involved to feel like they're getting a fair share. Like, for example, if a club is buying a player just for the fun of it or something, and they don't really intend to have that player as in the role that they say that they will, then that's not fair, you know. And of course, as I mentioned before, all the transfers are reviewed by the board, which is me in this case. So I look at the transfer and I'll evaluate it myself as well. And if I deem that it's not fair, I will intervene and say say, hey, this transfer can't go through for blah 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 blah. There's so reasons. If someone doesn't play, it's not that if a team bets for a lot of money, it means you get the player. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Floyd is forcing him. I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, yeah, Floyd is pretty adamant in getting Fred. But as I mentioned before, if Fred doesn't want to go, he won't go. Because, again, it has to be an agreement from everybody. I can't force a player to go to a club if he doesn't want to play there. That's not fair. And I can't force a club to buy a player. It's not fair, and it would just ruin the atmosphere too much. But yeah, keep it calm, Fred and Tommy. I understand that it's a pretty contentious issue, but don't try not to make it a too big of an issue. I really don't want to have to be really punishing, but I will if I have to. But yeah, I'm hoping that in the future, I might be able to get more people in the board, like people that might not even be involved, like as a player. They're just people that are in the server, so that they can sort of provide an objective view as well. Because I think that's important as well. But yeah, I'll reiterate that if a player does not want to go to a club and the club is bidding for it, then the player does not have to go. It's not fair for a player to go to a club he doesn't want to go to. And if he can't reach an agreement, then he'll just stay at the club. Or I guess what can happen is technically like he can be released and then just be signed as a free agent, but if that player is a good player, that's a lot of money that's being missed out on. But yeah, again, as I mentioned before, it's okay to discuss it, but please do not make any agreements beforehand. Don't try and negotiate beforehand. It's good to gauge interest, but please don't make any agreements beforehand, because that you can basically cheat the system that way. I want basically deals to take place in during the off season, because I'll also remind you that paying for money also means a lower amount of training points for the rest of the players. So if a lot of money is going out and there's not money coming in, it affects everyone at the club. And obviously I don't want that either, because that hurts development, and then nobody wants their player to not be good, you know? I want the ultimate goal of the league is to have the teams beating like Barcelona and like Real Madrid and fighting for the Champions League. That's my ultimate goal, because that's what I want to see. Dude is going to bankrupt the club, then I won't allow it. Easy as that. I can't allow it then, because that's not fair to the rest of the club, and that's my answer. Did the prediction end by now? Oh yeah, lots of people have bet for the Griffins. We'll see how what happens. As a side note, the finances for the other clubs should be completely private. That should be information only for the responsible club to know. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be available to the other teams. I assume that that's what the case is now, but if you can see the finances of other teams, please let me know, because that shouldn't be the case. Because that also kind of defeats the purpose of it. And again, I'm the ultimate arbiter in the end. If when I make the decision, I try to be as objective as possible, and if I think that all the parties involved will not be getting compensated equally, then I won't allow it, or I'll have to see the other, or like add certain conditions to it, you know. But again, all those questions should be coming to me. We can't see other teams' finances? Okay, good. But I can still think how much they have. I don't know. I mean, all of that is pretty, like, there's a lot of, like, the only way you could find that out is if you had access to the database, but there's a lot of things that are kept under wraps, and they should be kept under wraps, because it's not fair for the others to see those things. Again, it's, when it comes to, like, finances and stuff, it should be a collective team collaboration. Like, the coach should be like, hey, I'm considering buying this player, what do we think? Sure, it should be a good addition, he can fit here, blah 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 blah. Or no, I don't think he'd be a good addition for this reason, you know, we have this rookie who's been training a lot and I think he deserves a place, blah 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 blah. That's the point. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a community effort. I don't know if you can't see them, but just so you know, salaries and stadium upgrades aren't that expensive. Yeah, at the moment, they shouldn't be that bad at all. But as the clubs get better and better, the expenses will shoot up pretty quickly, I think. Like, for example, how do I say it? Like, for example, I think I mentioned this yesterday actually, but Messi and like Ronaldo, in terms of like finances, the way that the game calculates it, I think they're between 900 and 1,000. So imagine paying $900, well, in-game currency at least, for a player a week, and then multiply that by 11 players. It's a lot of money. And of course, that does not fit the realm the way that we've set it up now, obviously, because clubs aren't at that level. So it doesn't make sense to give them that much money. So as the players get better, if I see that, hey, it costs more to take these players in the club now, then I adjust them. It's just because they're in the rules, it doesn't mean that they're set in stone, you know? Like obviously I'm not gonna like lay down the law and be like, this is the way things have to be. If not, then no. That'd be really authoritarian of me. I don't think that'd be very nice of me. Like, it's supposed to be like flexible, like, you know, like, oh, we need to switch the TV revenue. All right, sounds good. We'll do that then. Of course, like, I take the appropriate measures, like considering the equations I have for calculating TP, so I'll make sure it fits those. But yeah. Oh my gosh, sorry, the end of the first half. I'm so sorry, guys. I was not commentating that at all. I was too busy talking about the whole transfers thing. Sorry about that, if you thought that was annoying. But I did see that it is still 0-0. As I mentioned before, the Griffins, I think, would feel pressured to win. Obviously, every club should strive to win every single game, but this one in particular, because they would put them at such a big advantage. But Norfolk with the win would also do really well. They could close the gap between the Griffins and you know, fight for a place. If I'm not mistaken, they're either in third or fourth. They're in fourth with 10 points. Eagles right above them with 11 points. Oh, what a save that was from Trent Tiger, though. A transfer chatter is best left in Discord. Yeah, good idea. But anyways, moving into the second half, I can't gauge on how the first half has been, honestly, because I've just been kind of talking. But yeah, please know that I'm not going to be like, I'm not like strict about things. Like, I don't want to force things upon people, because in the end, I've said it from the very beginning. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to like look at the games and be like, oh, cool, my player's doing well. Oh, man, he missed a penalty. Oh, man. It's supposed to be fun. Don't take it seriously. Like, of course, take it as seriously as you like, but nobody's money's on the line. It's not like if you lose the game, you lose your house or something. It's just for fun. We're supposed to have fun. And please remember that. Please keep that in mind. Mourinho. Looks like the Griffins are vying for a goal here. Miller, Babatunde. Tommy, please. We've already talked about how we should keep this chat in the Discord, because we've already talked about, you know, what's what and what's not. Meng is on the ground. Leo. Yeah, exactly, Fred. Hernandez. Miller. Oh, good pass to Babatunde. He's going to have a strike. Oh, that's going in. Brilliant strike from Babatunde. He's absolutely delighted with that effort. Really good stuff from the Trinidadian striker. Well done, Babatunde. Babatunde. Let's take a look here. Babatunde has scored 2 goals already this season. This is his 3rd. And I think it'll be an assist from Darius Miller. It looked like the defense was trying to trap Babatunde, but it looked like he was just onside. And the Griffins are up by 1. What a result this would be for the Griffins. Seriously. Because the Eagles won last game, so they're with 14. Rovers, we've yet to see how that match turns out. If Norfolk are currently losing... Oh my goodness, never mind, they brought it right back. Forgive me, Mang Daquan brings it back. It didn't even take a full minute. And Norfolk had brought it back, and it's all level now. It took a deflection off of Axel, I think. And it looked like Mang was on the end of that. And he got to it. He snuck it past Trent Tiger. As quickly as I said, the Griffins might be taking a huge lead here. Mang has dashed those hopes. And we're right here. And Mang has been taken off. Off from McGee and McGee, my apologies. And Cruz is coming on. Wow, I truly well and swallowed my words there. Commentator's curse, I guess. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh my goodness. Ooh, a bit of shaky there from Schneider. I don't know if he's in the chat actually. Are you here at Albert Schneider? Daniel Cruz. All the way to Nathan Hawkins. Good block from Nerinho. All square now. Some 29 minutes left to go. Novik. Oh my goodness, that I thought that was going in. Unfortunately, Tom Price just skies that one. More subs here. Oppenheim's off. Heinz is off. Oh, he can't watch today? Aw, man, that's sad. Oh, yeah, he did say he couldn't watch it. Because he's got, like, busy stuff to do. Alright, I'm gonna head off. Alright, Fred, take it easy, man. Thanks for joining us. I got here late, but at least I can watch a bit. How's the game going? Hey, man. Good to see you as always. Hope you've been doing well. The Griffins won it with a header from who else but Babatunde. We're winning it at least. And then like some 2 minutes later, Meng De Kwan burst forward after a deflection. Struck it past Trent Tiger, and it's all square now. There's still plenty of match to play here. Santos was taken to the ground there. It is going to be a free kick at the flank there. More subs. Miller's off for Cook. Nerinho's off as well. Hilmarsson, I think, taking his place. It's whipped in. Decent effort. Draco Thompson. All the way back to Trent Tiger. Bro, Nerinho off wide, and I'm playing right back or why. Again, like, those are just the changes that the CPU makes. Oh, that was a great strike from Rock Mockery, I believe. But yeah, again, I've said it before, but I wish there was like more control over like, hey, in the 75th minute, if my team is down, please switch to this formation or something. Because I know that's how other games do it, but unfortunately we don't have that luxury, so we're just kind of stuck with what we've got, which is okay. We shouldn't get angry over something that doesn't exist. That's not fair to anybody. Oh, it was a mistake there. Babatunde had a strike. That was off target. A mistake there from the defense. Babatunde should have just gone forward, I think. I think he got a bit too rushed. Nathan Hawkins. Oh, it was a bad tackle on the Griffins player there. Babatunde. Again, it's gone wide. Nah, it's good. Too much control wouldn't be that fun. Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure what you mean by control. Cruz. Williams. Santos. Hernandez was tripped there by Rex. That was interesting. That looked like Rock Mockery decided to play volleyball for a bit. Like who I see. Like choosing who gets sub, changing tactics during the match. Yeah. I think that's just far too much time on our hands. I think at that point you might as well play Football Manager, I think. Betty's had a header from... Oh, what a header that was. That was a rocket of a header. Schneider was left to die for that one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you, Floyd. That's a good point. I'm glad it's like this. Like, I guess the only reason why is that if something unfortunate happens, like an injury or a red card, then it might be good to have some backup plans. Tom Price goes wide. But yeah, I guess it's good. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I'll change my mind. Yeah, because I guess it provides more of a, how do I say, like entropy to it. Like, you can't tell what's going to happen. So we're like, oh crap, I hope the bot player does a good job. Oh snap. So yeah, because we have had some bot savior moments, so those are priceless. So I think you're right. You've convinced me. Oh, that was almost a good connection with Hernandez. Draco Thompson. Tom Price. Who's taking it away. All the way to Schneider. We're approaching the very dying embers of the match. Anything can still happen. Of course, time is running short. Let's see, who voted for a tie? Nobody. Oh my goodness. Nathan Hawkins takes it away. Nathan Hawkins, this could be good for Norfolk. He's gonna have a strike. I guess that was a pass. Well, kind of as a pass to Tom Price. Santos is all by himself. Collected by Tiger. I voted 0 on tie. That's a great idea. That's a great idea, actually. What was that? Hernandez just tried Zlatan Ibrahimovic-ing it from... I don't even know what that was. But yeah, good idea, Floyd. Always bet on 0. You gain nothing, you lose nothing. That's the best outcome for gambling. I should have done that so long ago when it was the slot machines. Babatunde. Babatunde. Oh, good pass to Cook! Oh my word! Neil Cook in the last minute. An unlikely hero. Count him how you want him. Griffins in ecstasy. It was a pass from Babatunde. He was sending Schneider the wrong way, and Cook, with the composure, to slot it past. Oh my gosh, what a 3 points these are in the last seconds of the match. Neil Cook, having been subbed on, gives the team the win. Norfolk. Cruz here. It looks like Norfolk were bursting forward. This might be their last chance. Never mind, the ref just decides to end it there. Very unlucky for Norfolk. Very lucky for the Griffins, but they do come away with a victory. A huge victory at that. Unfortunately, Floyd, 0 points. You've lost your 0 points. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, what a way to end the match. Babatunde, big ups to Babatunde. Time to write down these stats. Griffins are on a roll, honestly. Good stuff. There we go. Yeah, and the very next minute, they tied it up. That's crazy. Well, at the moment, at least, unfortunately, for Norfolk. Alright, so it was a scored by Babatunde. Let's see, flag, Trinidad, Babatunde. Hopefully they show the Hernandez bicycle kick from the halfway line. It was an assist by Darius Miller to open the scoring in the 55th minute. Here it is. It was an assist from Babatunde. Neil Cook in the last second of... Well, not technically the last second like it was for Barnieshev last season. But in the last minute, I believe, Neil Cook. Right place at the right time. Babatunde with a good vision to see that. And the Griffins end up with the W. Alright, gonna write down these stats quickly. Main Duck Juan had tied it up 1 minute later. And then in the last minutes of the match, Neil Cook. So what's Granada? G-E, G-N, G-A, G-D. There it is, G-D. Neil Cook. Oh wow, I'd love to see him on the score sheet. He is a rookie this year, and especially Babatunde. My word. I think I'm gonna pick Babatunde based on these on this listing right here, but of course I'll take a look. Wow, what a way to end the match. VPESA does not fail. VPESA does not fail to give us bad endings. Okay. Alright, Trent Tiger. 7 saves. Good stuff. Betis. Perfect passer from Betis. Good night, guys. Have a good rest of the stream. Thanks, Alessio. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. Thank you for letting me know about Dragon Ball Budokai, I think it was called, in Inazuma 11. I'll seriously consider making an Inazuma 11 in VPESA. That's honestly, that would be so cool. Seriously. But yeah, maybe. God, I would love to see that Inazuma 11. Jeez. What a great idea. I'll think about it. But yeah, take care, Alessio. It was good to see you as always. Hope your family's doing well. Hope your brother's doing well. Best wishes. Draco Thompson. I think I skipped past these guys. Axel. Good stuff from Axel. Unfortunately, Axel did end up giving Norfolk, the tie at the moment. Rockamockery. He had a few strikes on target. It's always fun to have conversations on the stream. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, always love to have conversations. Yeah, take it easy. Good stuff from Rockamockery, I think. Ghabr, not the most accurate passing. 4 interceptions though, and he was present everywhere on the pitch. Oppenheim. Darius Miller. I think it said contributed. Yeah, or no, confused the opposition defense with unpredictable passing. Hernandez. Good stuff from Hernandez as well. Yeah, great stuff from Babatunde, honestly. Helped his team take control of the match by scoring the opening goal and providing the last-minute assist that ended up giving them the win. There it is. Neil Cook scored an amazing winning goal worth its weight in gold. Absolutely. Neil Cook, very unlikely hero. Snyder, very unlucky, I think, for Norfolk. Obviously, conceding in the last minute is always unlucky because at that point, everybody's tired, so it's just down to who is less tired, I suppose. But yeah, unlucky for Norfolk. Very well done by the Griffins. Not to take away from that performance. Here's Leo's stats. I know you're in the chat. Here are your stats. Really good passing, honestly. Only missing one pass the entire game. Good stuff. Novik, also same thing with Novik. McGee. Hansel. And this is Santos. I think I'm saying that right. 8 interceptions. Santos was everywhere. Gosh. Price. Price, unfortunately, did not have that many good strikes. Kind of missed the goal sometimes. And Daquan. What a rookie he's been proving to be as well. Unfortunately, his amazing tying goal is not enough to turn the tides of the match. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Unfortunate. But yeah, I'll go ahead and give it to Babatunde. Let me write this down. I'll get to your comment, Leo. And end up winning the game. Wow. Depending on how the Rovers Dragoes match goes, this could be really good for the Griffins. Okay, this time I won't forget to switch the stadium. I can't believe I forgot. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. Well, good night, everyone. Have a great rest of the day night. Thanks, Leo. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Again, unfortunate that your team couldn't come up with the victory, especially after tying it in the fashion that you guys did. But very unfortunate. Hope you have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. Whoops, that's not right. All right. So Dragoes play at Stade Louis. Stade Louis II in the Rovers. I think that's fair. All of this should be on. Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, I almost pressed OK. I forgot to almost switch to stadium. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the prediction now. Alright, 5 minutes. Vote, vote, vote. Alright, so Dragoes, having followed into the match last week's, I'm so bad at talking. Yesterday's match, it was a loss in extra time to Ezhdehan. Rovers are currently in a bit of poor form, actually. The last 3 matches, they've only got 2 points, 2 draws, 1 loss. Before that, they were doing very well, 3 wins in 4 matches. Let's hope that they manage to turn things around, especially with the Griffins who are challenging for the title. The Dragoes are switching to a new formation here, so this is going to be very interesting. Why am I not captain? Oh, is your guy not wearing the captain's armband? Oh, he's not. Oh, I see. I guess when the formations, I must have accidentally moved him off the bench and then back on, so I guess he didn't put in the captain's armband. Sorry about that, man. I really don't think it's that much of a... Like, I don't think it influences anything at all, at least from what I've seen, just playing the game for a while. I think it's just like... Because it's not like... It's not like, hey, the captain will influence the skills of these players based on so-and-so, you know? So I think it's more of just like a cosmetic thing. But yeah, I'll go ahead and fix that when I get the chance. Sorry about that, man. But there he is, Lawton. Oh, beautiful pass to Blackwood. They're charging very early. It is head wide by Soboslai. They are trying to get their chances in, though. But as I was mentioning before, Dragoes have switched formations. They're playing with the 4-3-1, 4-3-2-1, I believe. And it's whipped in, cleared away. Saki, how'd the Ezhdehan game go? It was a win, I believe. Blackwood, save from Kask. I might be, no, it was a tie. My bad, it was a tie. I was thinking of the Eagles game, but it was a tie. They started off winning the match, but then it was brought back by Chess, who's got 5 goals now. I think Chess is likely to beat the record, if I'm honest. He's so clinical. So good. Yeah, and then the Eagles won last game, and then the Griffins obviously won last game. Yeah, things are really looking up for the Griffins at the moment. Very good stuff. And especially in the way that they won it last game was, wow. Neil Cook, of all people. A pass from Babatunde. Yeah, good stuff. If they keep this up, then they're definitely in contention for the title. Let's hope that they don't slip. Alex Anderson. It falls to Ramirez. Lawton. Cooper Dubois, who is getting his start. It is a foul on Cooper Dubois. Or Dubois. Oh, Soboslai. Oh, it's hard. It's always hard to break through when there's that many defenders in the way. Stojanovic was pushed away by Lawton. Very sturdy man. Oh, it looked like Ramiro might have gone through that. I think he was a bit slow to react. But yeah, the Griffins are definitely going to want to pay attention to how this match turns out. I think they definitely benefit with the win from Dragoes to sort of squash the Rovers a bit. Good tackle from Nono. Lawton is on it though. Nilton. Good triangulation there. It's still going. Costa. But I tried poking it away. But yeah, also, oh wow, that was a good strike from Ademi. Joao, we were talking earlier about like what games we played when we were younger. Alessio mentioned he played Dragon Ball Bodai Kai. I forgot the name already. Budokai, I think, or something like that, on the DS. Floyd was talking about Dead Space. Fred was talking about Minecraft. So what games did you play that you kind of look back with on nostalgia? But yeah, Alessio was also talking about Inazuma 11, and I watched Inazuma 11 a lot when I was in middle school. And I'm seriously considering like adding it to the league and like importing the logo and everything. Obviously, you're not gonna have like the Japanese players like Endo Mamoru or what was his name? Oh God, what was his name? I'm forgetting now. Oh, beautiful strike! Oh, clean save from Kask. That was a decent effort from Ramiro, but Kask was on it. The Wii Sports game, the Wii. Oh yeah, yeah, those were so much fun. I played bowling a lot with my family. We used to play bowling, a lot of table tennis with like the Wii Sports Resort game. Oh, those were so much fun. I don't know, there's like a certain nice like nostalgia to that. Because I feel like the Wii was definitely ahead of its time when it came out, like in 2007. And it had like sensors and everything. I know Xbox, like, what was the Xbox one? I know Xbox had one. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was Microsoft. But I know Xbox had like the same deal where it was like camera capture or something. You would have to like put yourself in front of the sensor and like you could play sports and things like that. Yeah, Kinect. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. So it wasn't like the only thing the Wii, but I thought it was so futuristic. Like the idea of holding a Wii remote and like having it be like in real life, what I'm doing is what's reflected in game was so mind blowing to me. I used to do Just Dance with the Kinect. Oh yeah, my friends had that. Yeah. Do you think the Kinect or the Wii was better in that aspect? I'm biased. I think the Wii was better, but I don't know. Ademi here says FIFA 09 on the PSP for the first time, goated game. Yeah. Also, I also think that the PSP was ahead of its time, and I still think it is. I feel like the PSP is still such a good console. Like you can literally take it anywhere you want, and the graphics are not that bad either. One of my friends from elementary school had a PSP, and it was so cool. He played a lot of FPS games, I think. I forget the names, but it looked so cool. Yeah, if I had the ability, I would buy a PSP, honestly. I feel like I missed out on that. But yeah, FIFA 09, I absolutely agree. I used to play FIFA 09 on the PS2, and I played FIFA 08 as well. Oh, I love those games, along with the other PES games. But yeah, speaking of which, there's like an old store that I used to go to that sold a whole bunch of retro stuff, and I found like a PlayStation 1 there. It was like a Nintendo 64. It was so cool. And they also had those old game guides that you'd have to buy. Like I remember like back when I was a kid. It's kind of weird to say. But I remember like whenever a game would come out, you'd have to wait for the guide as well, because they would like give you tips and like lore and stuff like that. And every single kid, whenever a game would come out, every single kid I knew was vying to buy the guide, or like go to the book fair or something and buy the guide there. Good times. Back in Bolivia, there was a store in the center that would sell illegal discs that were like 90% cheaper. Yeah, there's a lot of that, yeah. A bunch of my old friends got a bunch of cracked CDs like that actually. That were basically just all modded to just unbelievable standards, and they would just sell those. Kind of like with like Bomba Patch. But yeah, those games are also really good. Except they're kind of off-brand, so they look kind of silly. But yeah. But yeah, like the flea market games, yeah. Good times. First half is ended. It's 0-0. I think both teams are pretty much on the same page from what I saw. Lots of good chances from Dragoes especially. Rovers had a few chances as well. This was a good one. The one with the volley from Ramiro was really good. I'm surprised Cass kept that out. I hope we see it. That one was a good chance as well. Brathwaite got to it. Oh, there it is. Ramiro's strike. Oh, it was so cleanly struck. But it was saved. There you go. It looks like Dragoes have had more of chances than Rovers, so we'll see if they might be able to convert any of them. That is very clinical striking, though. 4 strikes on target out of total 5 attempted. That's really good. They kept the Rovers at bay as well, so who knows? We might be able to see them score here. Vic says in the chat that he won't be able to see the stream, but come on, Dragoes. I'm speaking it into existence for you, buddy. Come on, Dragoes. Let's see them get a win. Sobora. Marco is free on the flank there. A header by Ademi. Ooh. That was a good effort, that was. The sail's over, though. We need a win. Yes, we do, Ramiro. I don't know if you were here earlier, but you did such a beautiful volley. We'll see, hopefully we'll see it on the replay so we can show you. Oh yeah, I saw that. Nice. Yeah, glad he saw that. There he is, Ramiro, Latin. Poked away by Ezhdehan. Tripped Ademi there. There's another sub, Alex Anderson. Off for Frank Castle. That's a pretty common sub now. That's the 3rd time it's happened, I believe. Frank Castle, of course, having signed just a few days ago. Ramirez. Almost, there's just a crowd of Rovers players. It's hard to break through. Ramirez wins it back. It's hard to believe Ramirez is also still a rookie. It feels like time has gone a lot slower than I believe. Or faster, I guess. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. Ramiro. He squeezed the shot there. It was deflected off of Ezhdehan. It is a corner. Cassandro. Latin. Ramirez. Oh, good recovery from Cooper Dubois. That's commendable. Very, very good stuff. The crowd voices their approval as well. Oh, poor pass by Costa. Cooper Dubois won it back again. He's the one that's wearing the armband, you rascal. Thought he could pull a sneaky. Lawton. I guess maybe Cooper Dubois, I guess maybe he like snuck into the dressing room and decided to switch it or something. Pull off the big switcheroo. Ademi's off. Garcha taking his place. Wanted to debut as a starter, as captain, it seems. I guess, yeah. Maybe wanted to get that extra boost of confidence. Imagine that, though. Imagine starting your first ever match as captain. Wow. No. Good stuff from Cassandro. Drucin is in goal. I can't believe I haven't mentioned his game yet today, but to be fair, work has been very light for him today. Soboslai was tripped there. Stojanovic is off for JJ, and look at that. Costa's off for Alif Imran, who's making his debut. Not as a player, or yeah, as a player. Yeah, I know what I want to say there. That's his first ever appearance for Dragoes. So we'll see how he does. I really think we should do something for like debutants whenever they get their first ever game. I feel like that could be nice, but I'm just not sure what exactly. Another sub. Blackwood is off for Ferdinand. Nono's off for Popescu. Oh, it's a poor pass. It's going to be a corner. Weiss. Good defensive work. Lawton electing to just head it into space to sort of relieve the pressure. Oh, good pass to JJ. JJ! Not a bad effort. Also, in case you were curious, I found this out, I think, yesterday. The banner that says "Who ate all the pies" is, I didn't know what it meant, but when I looked it up, apparently it's a chant that you say, and it's in the UK, but you say it basically to overweight players. Basically like, "Who ate all the pies?" I don't know, I never heard of that, but just the thought of that is kind of, I don't know about that one. And then I did some more research. Well, not research, like it was deep or something, but I looked it up on the internet, like more about it, and I saw that they did it for that goalkeeper that played in. It was like a David versus Goliath matchup in the English FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken. It was Sutton United versus some Premier League or like Championship club, and apparently they were shouting that at the goalkeeper, which is sad. I don't even think he was like I think he was like the backup goalkeeper. He was like the third tier goalkeeper, and he wasn't even that. Like he was part-time player and then part-time goalkeeping coach or something like that. But yeah, very interesting. I didn't know about that. Because I was really curious, like it seems really out of place, like who ate all the pies? Like in my mind that was like really existential, like who ate all the pies? Like just a random question. But yeah, there you go. The more you know. just about ready to approach the last 10 minutes or so. Not quite yet. So far, it's still 0-0. Sobota. Sobosai with some good dribbling there. Nilton to Frank Castle. Ferdinand, who's playing deeper than he's normally required of, and this is good from him. Cooper Dubois. Ramiro. Almost. Rovers have really been struggling in this game. Frank Castle. It's with Soboslai. Oh my goodness, it's a bit of it. Nobody wanted the ball there. It's a ball up. Gacho's there. Surely he was offsides, maybe. Oh, I think he was offsides there. Oh, I don't know. That was a very strange decision. I think he was just on the line, and then he just started making a run as soon as the pass was made. But yeah, I don't think that exists in game. It's not like someone is offsides and then the game just decides to count it anyways. I'm pretty sure that if it's offsides, it's called as offsides 100% of the time. No need for VAR, none of that. Which honestly, I don't even know how you would program that to tell the game basically, oh, if it's offsides, well, you know, some of the times don't count it. But yep, there we have it. It ends in a 0-0 draw. Neither team was able to find the back of the net. And they go back the way they came. Yeah, I think this formation for Dragoes is definitely an improvement. I definitely agree. We'll take a look at the stats later, but I do think it's a big improvement. I do think just focusing on one striker definitely helps the club at the moment. And Ramiro's proven that he can finish those strikes. We had that one, the one volley. Oh, what a pass that was. That was a pretty poor attempt, though. This was it. That was the play in question. Interesting. So my guess is he was right on the line. Garcha. But yeah, this was the chance that I was thinking about. That one was like classic, like excellent play there. But yeah. Let's see. They kind of dropped the ball a bit in the second half with 3 strikes, none of them on target. But I think this is a step in the right direction. Rovers definitely picked it up as well in the second half. So maybe a draw was pretty fair here. Let's take a look at the stats. We'll get there though. Yeah, definitely. Just keep going. Try and keep finding what needs more work, and then if you find a consistent thing, and if you find people that are consistent, then you know anything's possible. But of course, just have fun, you know. Truchin with 5 saves. Nilton, wow, good passing from Nilton. Cassandro as well. Anderson as well. And Costa, wow, the defenders had really, really good passing. Blackwood with 5 interceptions. Ramirez, wow, that is really good from Ramirez. Cooper Dubois, 6 interceptions. Wow, the passing was very clinical from Dragoes. 4 interceptions. Yeah, basically everybody around in the entire club today did not really fail their passes. Yeah. Like if I just grab a random one here, all the passes were pretty clinical. Wow, that's really good. Let's see how the Rovers stack up. Grimes, good stuff from Grimes. Wow, these guys had really good passing as well. Wow, this really was a tight affair then. Wow, Lee Ji-hoon getting very involved as well. Novak. Weiss. No. Stojanovic. Yeah, a bit less involved. The midfield for the Rovers. And Ademi. Alright. I think this is a good choice. 25 passes made out of 26 attempted. 5 interceptions, no fouls. Very thorough dribbling. Lots of ball possession. Good distance covered. Yeah, that's pretty fair, I think. If anyone has any extreme disagreements, speak now, forever hold your peace. Yeah, really good passing, honestly. Seriously, both clubs did really good passing. Dragoes being the slightly more, yeah, I mean, look at these stats. 6, 6.5, 6.66, 7.5, yeah. Again, honestly, don't take these to heart, like take these with a grain of sand, but this is a good indicator of how, not exactly, obviously, but a good, like, indicator, like the difference between a 7.5 and, like, a 5 or something. But yeah, these are really good. Same with these guys as well. Yeah, it was a good performance all throughout. I think these two teams were very well matched for each other. So I think a draw was a very fair result, I think. Alright, but like all good things come to an end, this stream must as well. And so that will do it for me tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Really enjoyed the conversations as always. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your day wherever you are. What else do I say when it's time to go? That's it really, I guess. Just take care, guys. Again, really enjoyed talking to you guys. Take it easy. Take things in stride. Tell people you love that you love them. And yeah, I'll see you guys not tomorrow, but Friday.